In the stillness of night, as the moon hung high and the stars twinkled in the velvet sky, I lay wide awake. My heart pounded like a drummer on a frenzied solo, fear filling every beat. I was no older than 6, my eyes wide open in the shadowy room that seemed a universe of its own. Out of nowhere, a soft, eerie scratching sound broke the silence. It felt like it emerged from the very depths of the night, from beneath the bed, like a grotesque chimera trying to claw its way out from the underworld. My heart raced, little ears throbbing with each beat that echoed like a drum of fear in the silent room. Clutching a Paw Patrol toy tightly, I sought comfort and protection. I whispered a desperate plea into the toy's ears. "Please, Paw Patrol, help me." The camera would me. The camera would focus on my terrified eyes, glistening in the moonlight that pierced through the curtains. Fear, anticipation, and curiosity painted my expression as I'd pull the covers over my head, a futile attempt to create a barrier between me and the source of the creepy sound. It was a scene both heart-wrenching and eerily familiar, every child's worst nightmare. Was it real or just a figment of my imagination? In this dark room, the line between reality and imagination blurred. The narrative was rooted in this uncertainty, the curiosity and inborn fear of the unknown, making it a tale that sent chills down the spine. This creature was no ordinary monster. It was the embodiment of our deepest, most primal fears, a skeleton stripped bare of flesh, bearing 2 gruesome heads, one of a dog and the other of a cat. Its hands were like a lion's, clawed, and its feet were those of a goat. This monstrous chimera was an abomination sculpted from the darkest corners of the mind. The silence was broken by the creature's soft growl, a sound that struck terror into my heart. A scratching sound followed, a constant reminder of the looming dread. Then, the creaking of the bed echoed, indicating the presence of the horror waiting to unfold. Prayers were whispered into the darkness, pleas for the sun to rise, for the beloved Paw Patrol to burst through the fear. The room seemed to pulse with a palpable fear, the air heavy with anticipation. The wait for dawn became a battle against the chimera, a fight for survival. So let's embark on this chilling exploration. Is it an actual entity that feeds on our fear, or a creation of our imagination? Is it a phantom of the night, or does it hold a more tangible form in reality? Through this exploration, we'll uncover layers of fear within us. Bravery isn't in not being scared, it's in facing fear and moving forward nevertheless. So, gather your courage and join us. Was it all just a nightmare or a terrifying reality hiding under my bed? Only one evening, my new step-parent, a courageous individual, decided to face the monster. They were determined, unwaveringly resolved to prove that there was nothing under the bed, nothing that should spark fear in our hearts. This step-parent of mine, whose bravery led them to confront situations many wouldn't dare to, had made up their mind to unmask the myth of the creature hiding under the bed, a tale that had been a persistent source of horror for me. In an attempt to ease my fear, they began to tell me stories of the Paw Patrol's bravery. They narrated tales of how the heroic pups faced danger without a hint of fear, always ready to protect Adventure Bay from harm. They compared themselves to Ryder, the leader of the Paw Patrol, who never backed away from a challenge. Listening to these stories, I felt my fear gradually ease, replaced by an admiration for my step-parents' courage. This was no ordinary evening in our home. It carried a tension that was palpable, an anxiety that hung heavily in the air. As the golden hues of the setting sun made way for the ominous darkness of the night, my step-parent determinedly ventured towards the bedroom, a place that had become a symbol of my deepest fears. Their eyes were resolute, their hands steady. Just like the Paw Patrol in the stories, my step-parent was a brave heart, undeterred by the unknown, and this night was their battle arena. As they bravely moved forward, our usually lively home fell into a grim silence, the atmosphere heavy with fear and growing dread. Slowly, with a courage reminiscent of the Paw Patrol's bravery, they bent down. They stared into the darkness under the bed, a darkness that symbolized the unseen, the unknown, the uncharted. As they peered into this obscurity, a chilling quiet fell upon the room. Time seemed to halt as the moment lingered, the silence reflecting their apprehension, their bravery, their resolve. But then, in the deafening silence, we felt a shiver run down our spines as a scream. a scream so horrifying, so chilling, so desperate, resonated through the house. It was a scream that cut through the darkness, a scream that broke the silence, a scream that filled the air with a dread so tangible, it seemed as if the house itself shook in fear. That scream, that spine-chilling, soul-stirring scream, bore witness to the terror that my step-parent confronted that evening. An evening that began as an endeavor to debunk a fear ended in an unforgettable nightmare. It was a scream that continues to echo in my dreams, a relentless reminder of the horror that lay beneath the bed. Then, a scream reverberated through the house, a scream that still haunts my dreams. Days turned into weeks, and the monster's presence grew stronger. The overwhelming dread that filled each day was relentless, like a creeping fog that descended every night, an ominous reminder of the lurking danger. This ghoulish creature, a figure of our nightmares, had a twin, equally monstrous, equally blood-curdling. Its existence added an element of unpredictability and amplified the terror tenfold. Two creatures, each an embodiment of our darkest fears, feeding off our anxiety, thriving in our despair. Their presence was like an insidious whisper in the dark, an unseen specter in the corner of our lurked in the shadows, a constant menace. We could feel their unsettling gaze on us, their growls, a terrifying soundtrack to our lives. These growls, a chilling symphony of fear, echoed in the deafening silence of the desolate night. They were a grim reminder of the doom that awaited us. They shook us to our very core, spreading a wave of paralyzing fear. That was palpable, the fear choking. Every breath felt like an act of defiance, every step a step closer towards an unknown fate. The constant psychological warfare, the perpetual fear of ambush, draining, yet we held on. In the midst of this terror, a child's imagination went into overdrive. He pictured the brave Paw Patrol, his favorite heroes, navigating the mirror maze alongside them. He saw Chase, the police pup, leading the way, his blue uniform reflecting on the mirrors. Sky, the aviation pup, took to the air, scouting the path ahead, while Rubble, the construction pup, stood ready to bulldoze any monster that dared to approach. In the child's mind, each Paw Patrol member was an ally in this war against fear, a beacon of hope in the face of despair. And then came the night of nights, one fateful night. We found ourselves trapped within a mirror maze. The monsters were right behind us, their hot breath a chilling reminder of their proximity. As we navigated through the twisting reflections, the monsters' grotesque figures multiplied, creating a terrifying spectacle that turned reality into a nightmarish illusion. Our hearts pounded, adrenaline coursing through our veins. The chase was on. The echoing growls of the monsters bounced off the mirrored walls, their skeletal figures looming ever closer, a horrifying testament of the impending doom. Their skeletal figures loomed closer. With the imaginary Paw Patrol by our side, the courage ignited within us, fueling our desperate flight from the monsters. Just when all hope seemed lost, a pack of wolves appeared. They emerged from the dark shadows, their lean bodies barely discernible against the inky blackness. Their golden eyes, radiant and fierce, like brightly lit beacons in the murky gloom. The wolves were not mere animals. They were embodiments of the wild, personifications untamed nature itself. Their growls, deep and resonating, echoed through the silence, filling the still night with an intense, primal energy that was both terrifying and awe-inspiring. Moved by the scene unfolding before him, a small child found his courage. Inspired by the brave cartoon pups of the Paw Patrol, he cheered on the wolves. "Go on, wolves, you can do it!" he shouted, his small voice filled with determination. His cheer echoed through the silence, blending with the growls and snarls of the wolves battling in the shadows. Without any warning, an epic battle ensued. The peaceful night was shattered as fierce snarls and menacing growls filled the air, reverberating off the surrounding walls. The clash of tooth against claw, the rending of fur and flesh, the primal dance of survival played out in of our eyes. The wolves, relentless in their assault, fought with a tenacity that was both breathtaking and daunting. Each moment was a testament to sheer power and the indomitable spirit of the wild they represented. The night grew the moon, hidden behind a thick blanket of clouds. The battle raged on, the sound of the fierce combat echoing in our ears. Questions formed in our minds in the midst of the chaos. Who would emerge victorious from this clash of the titans? Would we ever escape the terrifying clutches of the monsters who lurked under the bed, their presence a constant reminder of our fears? As the moonlight returned, it filtered through the window, casting long, ominous shadows that danced on the walls. The light was a weak, ghostly glow, enveloping the room in an eerie pallor. In that moment, we could only wait, wonder, and cheer on the brave wolves, led by the small, inspired child. And so, the tale remains incomplete, an intriguing narrative of fear and courage, monsters and heroes. This story, it's a grand saga incomplete, paused at the precipice of an unknown future, lingering on the tip of a mystery unsolved. A child amidst the chaos wonders, will the Paw Patrol come to our rescue? It's a tale not short of suspense and surprise, where the characters are entangled in a dance of fear and bravery, where the monstrous entities lurking in the shadows toy with the hearts of valiant warriors and innocent children alike. This strange world is one of contrasts and contradictions, where dread and bravery intersect, where beasts are not merely beasts and heroes are not merely heroes. It's a place where fear is a constant companion, yet so is courage, where the monsters are terrifyingly real, yet heroes rise in face of them. It's a world where the cries of children echo in the streets, wondering if the brave Paw Patrol will arrive in time. It is the stage set for an epic battle, a clash between darkness and light, between the monstrous and the heroic. In this narrative landscape, a question hangs heavy in the air, echoing in the silence, whispering through the darkness, bouncing off the stone walls of ancient castles and rustling in the leaves of dense, haunted forests. The question is a simple one, but it carries the weight of 1,000 tales. What happens next? Will the Paw Patrol be there to save the day? Only time can tell. Perhaps the characters themselves, caught in this ever-winding tale, don't know the answer. Perhaps the answer is hidden, lost in the pages yet to be written, in the tales yet to be told. Perhaps it's waiting, biding its time, eager to reveal itself when the moment is right. Only the shadows know, and they aren't telling. For now, the question of the Paw Patrol's arrival remains as mysterious as the tale itself. Just as our brave warriors seemed on the verge of defeat, a familiar sound echoed. The Paw Patrol had arrived, filling the room with newfound hope as Ryder and his team burst onto the scene. Chase, the team's police pup, quickly took command. His police truck rolled into action, and he began directing the warriors with his megaphone, showcasing his leadership and strategic skills. Marshall, the fire pup, sprung into action next. His water cannons extinguished the fires that had consumed the room, bringing much-needed relief amidst the chaos. Rubble, the construction pup, used his powerful digger to construct barriers, creating a fortress against the monstrous foes, providing an unbreachable defense. Rocky, the recycling pup, repurposed the room's debris into weapons using his recycling truck, demonstrating resourcefulness. Zuma, the water pup, created diversions with his agile hovercraft, confounding the monsters with his quick maneuvers. Sky, the aviation pup, provided a crucial aerial view of the battleground from her helicopter, spotting points in the monsters' defenses. The teamwork of each pup was inspiring, and the monsters began to retreat. Their reign of terror over, they receded under the bed. The room transformed, the debris now a symbol of victory. The Paw Patrol celebrated their win, the room now a place of joy. Cheers and relief replaced fear, all thanks to our furry heroes. Ryder, amidst his victorious team, shared a powerful message. Whenever you're in trouble, just yelp for help. Remember, no task is too big, no pup is too small. Together, we can overcome anything. And so the night was safe once more, the room an emblem of hope and bravery. The Paw Patrol, ready for the next challenge, showed they were the true heroes of the night.